me tonight in the comms box for us as with the last few weeks. And tonight we got guest Rob himself. Welcome, Rob.
Hello guys, thank you very much.
And it's raining!
I wished for rain the previous race and I didn't get it. Yeah.
No, boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Obviously it will be interesting to see if it's just going to be a wet quali or is it throughout the race.
It's going to be interesting. And we got 17 drivers on the grid tonight. Interesting.
Actually see Cameron is making a return.
Nobody's in a hurry to get out, I must say. And as I said, someone actually do flinch.
I wonder if guys are not in a hurry to get out because
Staffy
conditions are improving.
Going.
I don't know.
Not sure if it's going to improve or going to get worse. Circuit. If it's going to get worse, you're going to see all of them coming out now.
Have to get that banker lap in now.
Yeah, with 17 cars, there's definitely going to be people falling out here, so it's a go for everybody.
Yeah, and especially if conditions are going to get worse, you have to get out there right now. You're not going to improve for the rest of the session.
Correct.
It's just going to get slower.
We've got 4 cars now.
Slippery.
4 cars on outlaps.
Just want to have a look here at the tyres. Everyone on intermediates. Got a few guys now on their outlap 5.
Looks like they might be knowing something that we don't, so it looks like there might be more rain coming. Oh no, it looks like a disconnect there for Eno.
Not good news so early in the session for the weekend.
No one with any laps as of yet. It's also going to be interesting. I know the guys do a lot of practice before the race. Sometimes have a 90-minute practice session for the fun of it. But those practice sessions don't usually include wet weather. So I wonder how much practice has been done on a wet Shanghai circuit.
I doubt it. Okay, looks like you now actually managed to rejoin. Porter now, can he reclaim that car of his? I see Wazi is also in, so that looks promising. Of course, Wazi have no beer tonight, which is a pity. Of course, Wazi single-handedly, there's a perfect brand ambassador for SAB. Of course, if any SAB people are watching the stream, please guys, make him an offer. This guy, he will be your best. He alone is freaking causing Castle August. Whoa, Staffy going wide there. Oh, almost looked like he lost it there. But anyway, Wazi single-handedly can make sure Castle's share price rocket up. Because he alone consumes some pretty, how many bottles in a day?
Definitely SAB has him to thank for their share prices.
I also agree with that.
Single-handedly. I think they'd be a lot lower without the Merc driver.
if Wazi didn't consume Castle, SAB would have been bankrupt by now.
I wonder if that's got anything to do with driving the Merc.
Hello, Weza.
Interesting, guys. It looks like the judge is on ultras in the pits.
Whoa. And then no disconnects again. Staffy provisionally, yeah, but he was also the first guy for 147. But it was a bit scrappy, so I expect that's going to come down quick. Yeah, and as I said, there goes DW, 146.
Like you say, we don't really know what's going to happen. Is it going to get more wet? Is it going to dry up? But these first laps are going to be crucial.
Yep, Weza, the one and only, in making a guest appearance tonight.
If my eyes aren't deluding me, the judge is on ultras, but he's still in the pit, so maybe it's drying up at the end of the session, and he's maybe waiting it out until the track gets dry to go out on the ultras.
Maybe not, just maybe a bit of a gamble, but not wanting to put the car on the line at this stage. But coming back to what you said earlier, no testing. No testing on any wet tyres, so I would at least try to do a lap or two on the wet just to get a feel for it. Yep, where's a proper party tonight? Proper party tonight, where's a three of us? Me and of course Mr. The Voice himself and of course guest appearance by Rob.
And again, leaving the session, having connectivity issues there. Now Death Seeker is retired from the session without setting a lap.
Come Weza, you can make it. So that would be Death Seeker definitely out. So, yeah, so that leaves one more spot.
He's out. He hasn't set the lap time.
Correct.
So
that leaves one more car. So one more just to go, yeah. Because 15 guys will proceed to the next session. Ronald, there goes Force India, and Staffy left the session. Not good. That's a where's that? From posting comms and in the racing camps. Staffy, that's just disconnect because he didn't retire. Damn it. Internet looks not promising tonight.
I can tell you what, Nesmax is about to start. Nesmax is about to start his fastest lap. Or his quali run lap.
Yeah, he's hot lap.
He dives into the pits, and it actually looks dry now for the ultra salts.
Yes, I don't see drills anymore. So that judge waiting is definitely going to pay off. So of course, if it rains in the race, he will have some extra set of fresh inters.
Yeah. That's right. If it does rain in the race, he saved a set of tyres.
Of course, fresh boots, especially in the rain, that is gold.
And winner for real has missed a braking point or something. Can't see what corner that is.
Yeah, running wide there.
Yep, he missed the corner.
DRS enabled, definitely dry weather territory. Dry tyre territory.
It's gonna be the first one out.
And Gavpik is also on track now. But he's also gonna get. I was expecting him
going for a lap.
I was actually expecting him to also wait for the dries.
Okay, TnB Westwing. Okay, never mind. We just did that. Yeah.
TnB Force is now also going out.
You both now fitted the ultras. 3 of them out on circuit. And I see what those lap times are gonna look like. They're gonna drop off considerably.
Yeah, yes, massive.
But these first few laps, you still need to just hold back just a little. It's going to be a little bit more slippery than you expect.
The judge actually getting a bit of a twist there. Battling a bit there. Because the judge teaming up with DW tonight in that Williams.
And there's McLaren going wide.
Oh, he goes wide again. It's just like Jonathan says, you don't want to push immediately, although it's dry tyre territory, there's a bit of dampness still on the track. And you could definitely see some spray, light spray coming at the, from the back of that Williams. See what's happening elsewhere.
Okay, the wolf was the first
A
one
lot
out
of
on
guys
track on the
coming out of the
ultras.
pits now.
So we'll
A
see.
lot of guys
So
coming out of the pits now.
So Wolf will provisionally set the benchmark. Must say, personally, this is not one of my favorite tracks.
I do enjoy it. It's got its moments. First corner can be extremely frustrating because I think we all know what we're supposed to do in that first corner, and you often still find ways to mess it up. Yeah, it's just one of those tracks.
Wow.
It's got parts I really.
Wow. Gaff peak. I must say, sorry to interrupt you there, Jonathan, but Ronald posted a 1:45.6 on Ultras. Gaff Peak actually finished that lap on his Imtus and he was 1:45.7. Just off
Johan,
Ronald.
I'm gonna correct you. Ronald's time was on ultras. Oh, on Inters, sorry.
Well, on my side, it actually shows Ultras.
Yeah, I think you have detail fitted.
Still delayed, Finn. Because I was
Need
just
to
about
put
to say it was
detail on,
1:45, 1:45. There we go, there comes
So
the
you need-
update. The Wolf for 1:38. Yeah, that looks more reasonable. That looks better.
1:38.463.
And it's just like Rob said, he was
the
the
moment.
first guy in Ultras.
And there goes fast, so
Fast actually fastest.
1:37.1.
Yo, more than a
1:37.1.
second. Yo.
Takes a big bite out of that.
Sorry guys, now my fault.
1.3 seconds.
Ronald is on Ultras, he didn't post the time yet, sorry. It obviously shows for current lap, my bad. I just for a moment
Now
thought he
we're
posted the time.
waiting for Ronald now.
We'll see what those fast
Just gonna
guys do
set the
now.
lap time.
Just looking at your
Judge
Wazzy
multi-car.
has been sitting in the pits without moving. Nizmax has been sitting in the pits without moving.
5
So,
minutes to go, interesting.
Still some interesting lap times to come.
The best lap times that will come will be at the end, as when the track is getting rubbered in
TnB
and
West
getting
going
faster.
fastest, 1:35.9. Times just keep dropping. It just depends where on track you are, because the further back, the drier you're going to get.
And the later as well, because the track is going to start rubbering in.
Yes, because remember now with the rain, first is actually only now that they're rubbering in the track.
Judge sets a 1:55.2 on his first run.
Yeah, he battled a bit of dampness on the track, so he's definitely going to go again. Comes Ronald, and Ronald goes fastest, 1:33.3. Okay, at the moment you're looking at a second between these top three, and
There goes
DW goes
the
fastest, 1:33.1. Now it's coming closer.
And Force does a 1:33.9.
See what the pig is up to.
Top three all in the 1:33s.
Artie just
quite a
started
gap.
his fast lap. He's 0.5 up on the first sector.
As you imagine if a pig wins this. You're never going to hear the end of this.
We're not going to hear the end of that. It's just
Yeah.
going to Japan, China.
Oh.
He's just going to start saying Asia.
Yeah. But I actually got a little victory song, if you want to call it that. I know I've got a song that he's going to sing. He's actually a little bit, he can be victorious here, but there's other stuff he still has some shortcomings on. So based on that, I composed a little song for the pick. It's pretty much, you can all sing it. It goes on the tune of Papa. Ek's Gafpiek, die wannabe matroos. Ek wil ook leef op drank en doos. Maar ek sien net die eerste een. Ek sien net die eerste een en dan se klaar foos. Ek's Gafpiek, die wannabe matroos.
That was a good lap there from Ronald, the 1-3-2-1.
Yeah, Ronald's definitely got some pace here.
Faster than 7 tenths faster than the vet.
He's actually, yeah, very, very low.
I think
very low
with the
132s.
track, with the track drying out, I think if you're just out there at the right time,
Correct.
we could still get a interesting lineup, an interesting top 10, because might not be that quick. You were just on the track at the right moment.
I actually see
So
what
if you can get some clean air and be out there as late as possible.
Let's see. And Nismax go fastest.
1:31.9.
The right time. Talk about the right time.
Gavin is on the back straight.
Gafpiek, die wannabe matroos. Hy soek ook van dranke en doos. Let's see what he does. Come around now, final corner. And go second. Can it be? Looks like another.
1:32.0.
Looks like it's shaping up to be another Nismax Gafpiek battle here.
Still waiting now, waiting for Wazzy.
See what he comes up with.
Going into the right-hander now. Gonna go into the final corner.
Of course, that Merc is fully loaded. It's running on Castle, not on Racefield. And he goes fastest.
1:30.5.
And Castle does it again.
And that's 1.4 seconds faster
That
than anyone.
Mercedes-Benz is powered by
massive.
SAB. SAB powered Mercedes-Benz.
Correct.
Get rid of the Petronas, put SAB there on the side.
They don't need
1.3
racing
seconds.
fuel. Wazzy can make it run on Castle any day of the week.
Henry now on his outlap.
Oh, Nino disconnects again. Springbok Gamer also retired. Looks like for now it's actually going to be Dev Seeker and Henno that's going to be the victims after the session. Of course, Henno is more victim of disconnecting tonight.
So basically all 15 drivers, as I understand it, all 15 drivers that have set the lap time should go through.
Correct.
I have seen on multiple occasions where I get a surprise and I don't really understand how it happens, but sometimes you have 13 drivers in Q2 or 7 in Q3, but it should be just Dead Seeker and Henno leaving
That's
qualifying.
also how I have it. Oh, Nino leaves again.
Let's have a look who is still on track. Y-Racer is on circuit.
Coming
But
around
let's
the
say
final
the
corner now. No, he's actually diving into the pits.
And let's say the Force Indians looked much stronger when it was raining than...
Yeah. Can Wazzy actually
did.
come throw a span in the works and actually get in the middle of that Gafpiek Nismax battle tonight? That's going to make things quite interesting. Hey guys, the song's actually stuck. It's stuck here, man.
You've got Wazzy, Nismax, Gavin, all of them with similar pace. Could be an interesting race.
Definitely.
You can't, and it's actually quite close between from second all the way down to 12, I think. All of them in the 132s.
Just waiting for everybody to ready up so we can go.
Okay, so that's it at the end of Q1. First place Wazzy, second Nizmax, third place Gav. It was a bit predictable, those top three. Fourth goes to Ronald, fifth goes to the Wolf, sixth Y Racer, seventh Staffy, eighth Villarreal, ninth Cameron, and then making up the top 10, TnB DW. I don't think we've seen the best of him yet.
No, I agree. This was also about realizing it's free, no need to worry. Save a car. Why you want to risk a car? Because if you crash, goodbye qualifying. So that's actually not bad. And also plays in Judge's hand. He had a bad lap, but he didn't bother going out again. And with those two guys out, so yeah, that also saves tires. Anyway, I'm going to go again with this because this is quite catching if you get it. Ek skafpik die wannabe matroos. Ek wil ook leef op drank en doos. Maar ek sien net die eerste een, dan is ek al voors. Ek skafpik die wannabe matroos. That's it, with Gafpik the wannabe matroos. Oh no, Joe, Ronald retired.
No,
sorry, Ronald's got a quali ban. Oh shikes, what happened there? That's one hell of a glitch. Sure, TnB West's Renner going into someone else's garage there for a moment. Holy crap. Welcome, Codemasters. Codemasters is back in action. Sure.
Nicely done.
Codemasters, and I mean it's a new update. We all updated today, so yes, welcome a new update.
I don't know how they got that right with 66 megs. But I clearly saw a Renault driving down the pit lane.
Yeah, and Ronnie, thanks for the reminder, Ronnie. I actually forgot about your quali ban. Sorry, my bad. Thanks for reminding us. I realized it as I said it. Shit, but you know what? At least he could get out, because how many times did we see this funny shenanigans in the pits, and when everybody gets stuck in the pits, you can do jack.
Yeah. The
may just be because no one set a lap time, but seeing Reynolds in first and second is really good.
Of course, for you, you're a big Renault fan, Mr. Fernandes.
It only really started when I bought a Renault.
I liked it when Wazzy was on top at the end.
I must say I like Wes's helmet. It fits in perfectly with Renault.
Really looks good, yeah. I'm actually looking at it at the moment.
Yeah, we got
interesting, guys. The judge.
Yes.
And Cameron is both on medium, both on a set of mediums.
They're going to go for a long stint in the race. Of course, not bad, but you must that first corner, because if you get tangled into a first corner fight, the whole tragedy is gone.
Yeah. The question is, will those mediums have the pace to get into Q3? Because otherwise you're just wasting a set of mediums.
That's the other thing.
Well, I think he'll go around, he'll set a lap time, he'll see how close he can get to the top 10.
I would rather go soft
if he feels that if he feels that he could make up the difference, then he's still got an opportunity to change the tyres. Still not a fan of that Williams dashboard, gotta be honest. The whole wheel turning over the LED.
Of course, we saw 17 drivers. Just remember, Weza also joined. But of course, as he joined late, he will only be in the race. So it's 18 races tonight. Interesting.
Almost a full grid.
Yes.
Judge comes into the pits. So maybe that set of mediums just did not feel good. Cameron is on a set of mediums, but he's in the pits. So
Cameron isn't in the pits. Yeah, he's on the back straight. Coming into the second last corner now.
Oh, there we go.
So this actually looks like a much better, because I mean we got two Mercs, we got two Williams, we got two Renaults actually.
133.5.
Nice bench by West.
133.0. The lap times are now coming in.
That was not a bad lap from Cam, being 5/10 slower than West, who's on the ultra soft, the fastest
Correct.
tyre we have here.
And Cam's on Cam's on the slowest.
It's also been away from league racing for quite a few rounds now. So
yes, nice
good
welcome return. Reno with a high 133, Staffy 134. Oh boy. Oh boy, thanks for the update, Ronnie, appreciate it. Ronald saying actually rain coming in like 4 minutes. So this is going to be one of those change, dry, wet. Oh my word, that's going to be testing.
Yeah, but now the guys that's still in the pits.
Problem with that is we're going to have a boring end to Q2
yes.
if everyone sets their lap now and the rain comes down. There's really no point to going out.
Correct.
The problem is the guys that aren't out, and if there's rain in 4 minutes, if they're leaving it so late, then they might have a bit of a problem.
Thank you, Ronnie. It looks
I
like
need
14
to know the
minutes
weather in the race.
I was just about to say that because Ronald just updated us. He says about 45 minutes into the race, rain is predicted.
So it's going to be changing conditions in China. And you know how difficult it is to find a setup for this car now. You need to take into consideration that the second half of the race isn't going to feel like the first half of the race. So you need to find common ground in that setup.
I'm gonna go here to Mr. Statman here because I've got two interesting pieces of stats on this track, and correct me if I'm wrong. But of course, 2016 world champion Nico Rosberg, he actually took his maiden victory at the same track. And if I'm not mistaken, that specific date was also raining quite badly.
I actually think that's right, yes.
Because he definitely took his first win here, but I'm sure that was also very challenging conditions that day.
And we've seen
China's famous for that.
We've seen China throw up some interesting results, some interesting collisions.
Of course, looking at this year's race, of course, Verstappen and Vettel.
This is obviously happy hunting grounds for the team Robbie supports. They've got the most victories at this circuit with a total of 5.
But the lap record actually was not in a Merc, funny enough. To this day, that record is actually still behind the name of Michael Schumacher. Set in 2004, of course, the last season of that dominant Ferrari Schumacher era.
Yeah. Okay, but the weight, the 132.8 on a set of softs in P1 at this stage.
The race also going to go for a longer stint.
So Mercedes, the top constructor here in China, they've taken 5 victories. Top driver, also a Robbie favourite. I'm not going to say it. It's not really Robbie's favourite. But Lewis Hamilton, he's taken 5 victories at the circuit. 4 for Mercedes and 1 for McLaren Mercedes.
Gavin's now coming around the second last corner. I think this might be his fast lap. It looks like it on a set of softs.
Funny enough, it's not funny to see the gap peak, but even Nesmax, both of them are actually on the harder tyres, so they're both going for a longer stint in the race.
I'm already
gap peak is fastest.
I'm already having problems with because on the car it's soft tyres, but on this now it says softs.
No, I've got it in my soft, yeah. The gap peak be fastest, on soft.
It still showed ultras, that's why I was
now
confused.
it shows DW and ultras on my side. And yet, it looks like...
DW is on ultras, but he's sitting in the pits. So he hasn't done a lap time. So I don't think he's done anything yet.
What's Nesmax doing? Coming around the final corner?
Yeah, his best was definitely on soft, because when I saw him posting on soft. Nesmax actually going now second. Interesting what, because Wazi is still in the pit.
Okay, so he's sitting in the pits with ultras fitted to the car. I think he's sitting there just in case, but if the rain is going to come, I don't see any signs of it.
The same, yeah. I think we might just get it at the end, maybe Q3.
See,
I think
pretty
Q3
clear
might be wet.
skies. Let's hope the weatherman didn't get it wrong. I'm actually looking forward to rain in the race.
I'm surprised by how many guys actually went for the harder option, being it soft or medium. They actually, it's not so many that went for the ultras.
Haven't really gone around the circuit, having internet problems earlier, but I wonder if that ultra just drops off too quickly and it's a bit pointless.
Hello, Mr. Van Tonder.
Interesting news. Cam is now out on a set of softs and almost loses the car.
He actually, he could have actually just stuck with those medium, stayed as it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ronald, I think several guys might actually be trying that, Ronald, because if I see how many guys actually went for the harder tires, so you might be onto something doing that. Ronald actually saying he would like to stay on one tire actually from the start till the rain actually comes. And if I look at how some of these guys, the tire choices, looks like a lot of them are actually trying to do as close to that as well.
Having a look at the best times and what tires were used. 10 guys have set a lap time in those top 10, just 2 on ultras. Wes and Staffy, and then the 1 on mediums. 6th place for Cam on mediums.
Nismax obviously feels he'd done enough, only 3 minutes to go.
Was he still in the pits?
I wonder if he's actually going to post the time, because we need to get a move on now. I wonder if we're going to hear from Yvette tonight. I wonder where's Yvette, how regular.
Sitting in the pit stall, don't see any movement.
Okay, Staffy also feels he's done enough. Yeah, also there's definitely no movement on Wazi's side. Wonder if he ran out of castle.
Is it the same on your side? Just 10 guys? Well, now 11 guys to set a lap time?
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah. So Judge, Y-Racer and Wazzy yet to put a lap time in.
Correct, and none of the judges actually on track, and Y-Racer, so it's only Wazzy. Of course, Ronald was at Qualiban, of course. So it's actually only Wazzy here. Everyone else went out.
Oh, the judge on Y-Racer is now. The judge, I think, is completing a lap. Nope,
he started one.
But again, and out on those mediums again.
Obviously, Cameron, he set that lap time on a set of mediums.
Judgy again. That first corner sequence is just not good friends with the judge at the moment.
Is he losing his rear?
I just wanted to greet Staffy. Sorry, Staff, let's try again. Moo! Of course, Staffy coming in with his usual hello in the form of a moo.
Alright, it's around the final corner. That's a 134.
Pretty much, Ronald. If you look at the judge, definitely we're in for some dirt racing tonight. I wonder if some of you guys will take it from dirt racing to dirty racing. We'll have to wait and see.
Okay, guys, I can confirm. Wazzy isn't gonna set a lap in Q2.
No, definitely not. There's not enough time to go out. Oh no, thanks for that, Steph. Looks like Judge's car settings keeps resetting.
Yeah.
Oh, Codemasters are at their best.
We didn't have this, and we didn't have this problems before we started, before the last update.
No, this is new update. That's over again. Thank you, Codemasters. Fixing one thing, breaking 10 other things that didn't need fixing.
It's quite strange. They went through those first 14 updates quite quickly, and this
one
last
took
one
forever.
they actually took their time with, and seems to be causing a few issues.
Okay, I feel sorry for guys working in the IT industry, but I'm going to say it. Codemasters pretty much did with this patch like what we say IT do. It's called job creation. They found a way to bugger up something so that they have something to do all the time.
I can say one thing. Judge had a much better
lap in his previous
turn
session.
1 and 2.
But that's bad. If you actually got your settings, you're used to it, you're expecting the car to behave a certain way, your settings reset and the car's just not as comfortable anymore.
Yeah.
And we all have been there.
Well, that rain at the end of Q2 did not arrive. So let's see what happens in Q3.
But we all know you can't really trust Jeff.
No, Jeff is something else. Of course, just a quick reminder for all of you guys watching. As always, as some of you already been doing, everyone else just feel free to post some comments there and participate in the conversation. If you've got any questions, we'll try to answer, but otherwise just feel free to chat with us. Right, just waiting for everybody to finish what we're busy doing before we go to the next session. Judge coming around to finish a lap. Nah, no improvement on his time.
I think he lost a lot of time going through that final corner because I think he downshifted to second and almost came to a standstill.
Now, from your guys' perspective, what do you think is the right thing to do if you know it's going to start raining halfway through the race? Do you give up a bit of speed for a better setup later, or what would you do?
Depends how much it rains.
Go with your initial setup?
I would, if it's going to be a quick stint, then it's not going to be towards the whole second half. If it's going to be a short stint, let's say maybe 20 minutes or so, then it's still going to be a dry patch at the end. So I'll still be inclined to run a dry setup to build, then take it slow or cautiously.
This is obviously me assuming that it starts raining and the race ends in the rain. I think, yeah, if it dries up, then you just need to get through that short period.
Correct. It's always tough to have that 50-50 setup. So I would still lean towards dry more.
And the interesting thing is, 9 of the drivers in the top 10 are starting on the softer, and only Wesley starting on a set of ultras.
You know, that pit lane entry, it gets me in real life, and it just got me in the game. If you're watching from the main straight, then it looks like a car just shoots off into the gravel.
Correct.
Yeah.
I must say, one track I actually got a liking in, and when it disappeared, is that Indian racetrack, the Indian Grand Prix.
Yeah.
The Indian racetrack actually is, if you guys want to see something interesting, you should look at that Indian racetrack's layout compared to Kyalami.
Yes.
Very, very similar.
And that pit lane is almost also reminds you of China actually, if you look at that pit lane entry.
The pit lane entry at the Circuit of Americas is an exact replica of Kyalami.
Yes.
Final corner and
correct.
Pit lane entry.
But the Turkey Grand Prix was actually also the same, the Istanbul track. Same quick.
There was a few circuits that came onto the calendar, I enjoyed them, and as
they
quickly as they
disappeared.
came onto the calendar, they disappeared. I enjoyed Korea.
I was just about to say, I also
Turkey
enjoyed Korea. A lot of people
India.
didn't.
Yeah,
So,
Korea, India.
Oh
no, my greaty! Oh no, Nesme! Oh no, the guys' internet is. Oh no, it's backing up tonight.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh boy. Let's hope he can rejoin. Let's hope he can rejoin.
I just saw a car appear in the middle of the pit lane without even exiting his garage.
Nicely done.
Oh well, Steph, thanks for the update. I saw that. I can only see one person going like, "Yee-haw!" and that can be Gathpeak. Obviously. That's one person who's happy if Nesmax is gone.
It looks like it's Staffy or Gavin that's the first drivers out.
There's actually, there's 5 drivers actually out. Staff, Gav, Cam is out, Y-Race is out, and Wes is out. Of course, Y-Race in the sole McLaren tonight with Muna not being able to make it. Nesmax has managed to join. But of course, it's one thing to join, it's another thing to reclaim your car. Although I must say, I haven't heard of any issues where you couldn't reclaim your car here with actually in 2018. 2017 was a different story when it came to reclaiming your car.
Yeah.
I can't recall, but I think I have had it quite recently. I don't think it was 2017 where I came back into a game and I could spectate, but I couldn't get my car.
Yes, I had that in 17. Not yet here, but in 17 I experienced that.
And I think it's a bit hard for you to get it here.
No, there goes Derek again. No. Network is an issue.
How much time have you spent driving F1 2018 compared to the last game? Not even 50%.
See, the guys are complaining about settings and stuff. Oh. Ronald, I must agree with you. There's actually guys here, a couple of them has got some fantastic helmets. Nice look. Of course, Mr. Ladybug himself is sitting in the comms box tonight. Also a nice helmet design. Like Wes's as well. So yes, there's a couple of nice helmet designs.
And then obviously you have Gav with his very interesting helmet.
Purple.
It's pink.
Well, it looks purple, pink, I don't care. That guy's anyway frustrated.
Gavin going towards the final corner.
Let's see what he does. Really nailing that corner there. Yep, 131.1.
That's a good lap. That's a brilliant lap.
Low 31, that's a mighty lap.
Almost a second faster than second place man Staffy.
Of course, one thing now while we're talking about things here. DW, of course, most of you might remember this. Pole prediction. Ronald, I would say, was he gone? Nesmax disconnecting. There's only one way I see pole, and that's Gathpeak. Although Y-Race actually came very close just now. 0.3 off, but I still lean towards Gathpeak.
Yeah.
Of course, as I was saying.
Now, coming towards the final corner.
Hopefully Nesmax can get back in and
get
some sort of lap time.
Welcome, Fizz. No Merc in the qualifying 3. What happened? No Wazzy, no Forsey, no Merc. Only Renault looks strong. Of course. 2 Renaults in Q3.
It's a good direction for F1 to go in.
Yeah. Of course, most of you might remember, well we do. Sorry Rob, that's a bit before your time. But when we were much younger, of course, there was a show, Biker Mice for Mars. As we all know, DW always wanted to be a biker mouse. Of course, now he's on his bike, doing his rides, but of course he's now no mouse. I would say more he's like a ninja, even a baby ninja, and I'm not referring to the bike. Of course, we all know he doesn't have a ninja bike, because his bike of choice is of course Honda. But anyway, GW, I would say he's a biker ninja.
A Honda Ninja. That sounds so wrong.
No, he's a ninja Honda warrior.
That's like Tatsuki Suzuki who drives a Honda.
Exactly, something like that. Of course, Mr. DW, congrats on air to you. Of course, we all know now that you got your new baby today. May you have many, many, many happy miles with and Honda on.
Just want to rejoin of the last
He's
time.
been disconnecting and rejoining, disconnect, rejoining, and of course with the last attempt, I think that's it. Oh, where's going into the barrier there? Both Renaults right to one another. Ooh, no. Because one... whoa. Both Renaults in the pits now, but sure, maybe a bit of lagging. One moment in the wall, next moment you're in the pit. Oh,
Shit.
internet,
I
what I saw so... internet.
I wonder who's hosting the session.
Good question. And internet's already unstable by the looks of it. Okay, there we go. Nesmax trying again.
And we've seen in the past that...
and Heno is still battling as well. Internet is just not stable enough tonight.
Oh, what a lap from Cameron.
Steph, yes, what FTW, Steph, what did you do? You look for something you're not supposed to? You're not supposed to watch PornTube while you're racing, son. Of course, Ronald, of course you're going to say go Force India. That's your teammate. The ice cream man. If he's the ice cream man, Ronald will call you the milkshake man tonight. Of course, you're driving the pink car, so you live with it.
Again.
I don't think Dirk is going to come back, guys. Again. I think internet and several drivers felt it, and I'm actually going to. I actually expect a lot more guys to disconnect during the race.
Well, it's going to be interesting. At least we do have ghosting on, so it shouldn't affect the leaders too much.
And it's going to be interesting what happens. Of course, if Ascom also brings in their plans.
I know, with it being a South African league, we do have our own extra set of challenges.
Yeah, thanks to Eskom. Let's hope Pat stays away, because internet alone already tonight is challenging. Kaboom. Kaboom. Kaboom.
Okay, Nesmax has joined again.
For how long?
Just giving it another go. Just says joined. But if it works this time, I think you'll have just enough time. 3 minutes remaining on the clock.
Yes.
Just gonna have
but
to
if that connection can stay
into
stable,
that car quickly.
If you can get into it, stay in there and do something.
No movement from his pit lane yet.
You would love to know, Steph. That's probably the Gafpick already firing his cracker, celebrating the win because Nesmax is not coming.
Don't get too overconfident in China.
Nope. Anything can happen, and it usually does.
Turn one can...
Oh, no, there goes Nesmax again. This is not going to work.
So something very wrong there.
I can tell you that pig has got a big grin on his face right now.
Yeah. How's the champion standings looking?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, if Nesmax don't finish tonight and Gafpick win, that's hands down championship.
Sure, so let's hope Nesmax makes it and gets some good points so we can have a exciting final race for the championship.
Staffy says Gafpick is sad, he wanted the competition. But do I really believe that?
No.
Nah.
Actually, for Gavin to win the championship today, he just needs to finish ahead of Nizmax.
Correct.
If he finishes ahead of Nizmax, the championship is over. Because it's 27 points, the difference.
Yeah.
So if he stays ahead of him, regardless of the position, he will win the championship.
Okay, but let's say Nizmax won't get a lappy now anymore.
And then as far as the Constructors' Championship goes, I think that one is
I would say Toro Rosso.
Toro Rosso.
Because Toro Rosso had a good run. But that was actually the one team that's been consistent, and both drivers. Because Gav
Well,
Peak has got a lot to say
56.
thank you.
They have a 56-point lead.
Oh, Gavin all loses it. Almost. But now he lost a lot of time for the...
Of
Well,
course
Toro
you
Rosso
are,
leading the constructors.
of course, Fossey. But the question is, Foss, do you have any money to put on the pick?
I know that's the real question.
Of course, just a reminder, although it's only one tier, we see one race, of course there's still points separately being given for tier 1 and tier 2. Of course, as Ronald just reminded us, he only needs like 6 points when he's going to be champion in tier 2.
So both championships could be wrapped up
Tonight,
in
yes,
round 9.
with one race to go.
Riders goes fast like things, but it looks like Gavin has it.
Yeah, definitely, I don't see anybody coming back with that. Unless DW is coming up with pulling a rabbit out of his hat.
So we could go to Singapore with the championship decided.
Correct.
It's usually a track that ultimately decides championships.
Oh,
Seen a lot of
not
championships swing in Singapore.
DW at least puts it in third.
I can tell you Gavin is going faster, but not by much.
Yeah, but he doesn't even need to rescue it at this stage.
For the top 6 drivers all in the 131s. So these lap times are close.
Yeah, you guys, Ronald, all the boys, you guys must enjoy, must have an awesome race. And I see Steffi already started the banter to try to get Ronald off his game.
And Gavin goes slow about 0.035.
No, he business done. He can just give it up already so he can go racing.
No, he's done. Waiting for Wolf.
That's it, and only Wolf.
He's cruising.
All those lap times are one thing, but how will they translate to race pace? And obviously, how will they translate in the rain?
Gonna be
Obviously,
interesting.
it's a lot easier to make mistakes in the rain. So, still gonna have to pay attention. Didn't get rain in qualifying again. But the conditions do look like it's on the way to rain. We'll have to wait till the race to see.
Yeah,
It's unfortunate that we can't get a weather report in the comment
Yay.
box.
that would have been interesting, especially as it changed. Imagine like real life. You can see it as it happens.
Give us a weather report in spectator mode and track temperature.
Come, Coach Masters, live up to the expectation.
We'd love to see more detail, but my concern with that is you can't really have detail if you're not getting the basics right. Well, there we have your results of Q3. Obviously Gavin taking pole position with that 131.1. Y Racer in second. DW makes up the top 3. Then we've got Villarreal 4th, Cameron in 1st, Wolf 6th, Staffy 7th, Springbok Gamer 8th, TnB Wes 9th, and then obviously Nismax didn't set the lap time.
Potentially in 10th place if he can actually come back and make it.
So if he can get back and join the race, he'll start in 10th.
For saying
But,
so will the pick finish. Yes, the pick will finish unless some of you guys are brave enough to give him a hard time. That's the only way he's not going to finish.
If Nismax,
Or if he loses
does
concentration.
not start this race, the championship is over.
It doesn't matter what happens to the pick.
It doesn't matter what happens, championship's over. The league is 27 points, so he has to start this race. See now, guys, he's doing their...
Error. Ay.
Not seeing errors on my side just yet.
No, I see Dismax is posting about errors when he reclaimed the car. And the internet's been whack all night so far, actually. I saw it in other games as well.
Nesmax is still in the lobby.
Yeah.
His car is because...
Well, if he rejoined, he should be there. Let's hope he can start the race and he don't have any further issues. Because he can always work his way up from 10th. Strong racer.
If you don't get in before that formation lap starts, you can't get back into that car.
Correct.
Car sort of disappears into the pits by itself after the formation lap.
Here we go. Talking of which, formation laps are about to go. Gaffby getting slow away. Of course, Staffy as always. Can't wait to jump to the front. Staffy, of course, taking his formation lap as if it's the race start. Just getting past everybody to try to pull away.
I suppose it's the best way to warm up those tyres on a formation lap, is to have clean air.
Heno now disqualified
from really difficult
warm-up. West now disqualified as well.
So they're going to have to sit on that pit lane lonely for quite some time.
Yeah, it's at the start of the laps.
So they can sit there and think of what they've done.
Why they've been naughty. Why he didn't really set the lap time?
Cameron starting in the top 5 on his return. It's going to be an interesting race, and I really wish I had a clearer indication of what's happening with the weather.
Oh no, disconnects again.
They said about 45 minutes.
We disconnected now?
Heno. But he's been battling since Q1.
So maybe that disqualification had something to do with lag.
It won't surprise me.
He could have hit something and
the guy battled for all night.
A horse spinning out. Not sure who that was, but there's a horse facing the wrong direction on the formation lap.
Yeah. Right, just waiting for everybody to line up.
Don't give you much leniency on the formation lap.
Jeff says rain in 10 minutes. No, man. Is Jeff smoking something?
Rain in 10 minutes? I don't think that skyline says rain in 10 minutes.
Same here.
We'll have to wait and see.
Well, I think we will definitely have rain at some point, but not 10 minutes. Grid just forming up, waiting for the final guys to take up their positions. And then we'll have the red lights.
Now just watch for the lights.
Lights go out and we're on our way.
And round 9 in China is a go! And there's Gappy with a good start. DW with an awesome start right amongst the cat. Yeah, that's a cat amongst the pigeons there. DW going wide now. The wide race is staying with the pig. But now the pig's going to have a better line and actually going to pull away. DW is still staying in third, being challenged there by Cameron. But TnB West had a horrible start. Some damage there Oh, and Cam actually, almost ran in the back of that Williams of DW.
Just want to get some confirmation by going on board. Can confirm that Nizmax is riding, he's driving. He's in ninth place.
Up to ninth place. That car's definitely
So
not ghosting.
he did find his way into the race. And now these first couple of laps are going to be critical for Nizmax and critical for the championship.
Correct.
As Gavin is at the front with clean air.
Ooh, and Cowboy having a look at Nizmax, late move. Luckily
Maybe Nizmax will just be a little bit more urgent than his usual self.
Oh,
and there goes a Red Bull.
yeah, running wide. Oh, looks like the Cowboy. Because all of a sudden he's way behind that Ferrari. He was just on him a moment ago. Both Red Bulls are right with each other.
Wolf trying to
Max
line
coming
up
up
that
on the
Red
force
Bull.
now.
Wolf looking for that 5th place. Trying to line up that Red Bull. He's had a go already in 1 or 2 corners. Just had a look.
Oh,
Getting really
why is
close.
he coming into the pit? Not a good start for him either.
A wing change for Wazzy.
Obviously on the next lap DRS will activate. It will help to get past some of these situations.
Oh, here we go. Wazzy's on his way. Also, of
Wing
course,
damage
TnB
early
West.
on in the race.
There's a battle between the Veta and Y-Racer. Okay, battle ended.
DW now and that's running in 2nd position. They're both on the same tyres. Yeah, the top 7 all on softs. Just in the
Fourth is on
top
a set
10.
of ultras,
And so
then
is the
Cowboy,
Cowboy.
Dead Seeker, and Henno. They're all
Only
on
the
ultras.
only
It'll be
those
interesting
two
to
in the
see how
top 10.
early they have to come in.
Ooh,
wanna
and
see how early
Cam
they
now
need to
actually
come in.
making a move on Y-Racer because Y-Racer went wide. But Y-Racer looks like he's going to have some pace. Because he's going to be brave enough to brake late. Oh, just allowing enough space. Y-Racer is actually going to take it on the outside.
Good
But
battle
that
here
brings
between these
Vino
two.
for real now actually right on Cameron's back end.
Now DRS is going to become a factor shortly.
Oh. Okay, I think Ronald. I don't know what happened, if it's lag or what.
But look at
That
this
doesn't look
battle
good.
for. Look at this battle for 3rd.
Definitely.
There's a chain reaction. Look at that.
Instead of just
McLaren,
Y-Racer,
Force
Cam
India,
and Vino.
Renault.
Well, Wolf is now up there. The staff is actually up there as well. And Force.
Able to see all of them in the same frame.
Which means Nizmax is also there.
This match just at the back of this.
If he can pass all of these guys and get on with it, things will be interesting.
Problem is he needs to get past all
Correct.
of these guys
But
without
sooner the
damaging
better.
his car. And he needs to see if he can get in touch with Gavin there. Already 3.2 seconds in the lead.
Yeah, he's going to pull away from DW. Interesting. Joe Staff is 1 lap down. Yeah, right. He was 1 step down, 1 lap down. He
I
wouldn't have
know,
been.
crashed.
I wonder if that's
I know
just
some
Up to
of
the
the
end of Henno. A
Yeah.
first retirement for the race.
Too frustrating. Too many disconnects and stuff tonight.
I think we've
And
all
this
had
match
nights
now
like
in
that, but
Yeah, he's past Force.
Gavin just keeps on going faster and faster. A 1:37.7 fastest lap for the race.
There's Max now chasing after Staff. Oh, safety cars
Gone
out,
purple
safety
every
car.
lap.
We got safety car
This is-
situation.
We'll close everything up. That must be for the Henno incident.
I wonder what Gavin's feeling now. Going so well, then all of a sudden
Oh, drive-through penalty, speeding on the safety car for the judge. Of course, Nismax can deal with more people having that type of penalty because that will clear, especially those guys in front of him. Because that will be less traffic to clear.
Yeah, but now the safety car isn't really working in Gavin's favor because now the gap that he had of about 4 seconds.
Yeah, that gap has been reset.
On Staffy now disconnected. Oh, whoa.
Oh,
Judge retired.
No,
Judge is out.
Now that's going to be interesting with the ghost car.
Yo.
I don't think you can pass the ghost car
well,
under
it
safety
shows
car.
Nismax actually went through that ghost car. Oh no, no, he actually went back. He went back a position.
He's still 8th. He hasn't picked up that position, so I don't
No,
think
no,
you
he gave
can
it
pass.
back. That's the ghost car took it back, so it looks like you can't. You'll have to wait for the safety car to be. Where's our drive-through penalty? Ooh.
Everybody now trying to steal a pit stop under the safety car and making the mistake of speeding in the pit lane.
Actually, no, this is speeding under the safety car because obviously you need to look at your.
Speeding under the safety car.
Yes, yes.
So.
Because you got your target speed time that you
DW is caught up. So now the train's starting to form behind the safety car. Gaps are now closing.
Interesting, no one actually went into the pits.
Yeah, I also didn't see anybody in the pits.
But that would have actually ruined the race if no one else actually did it because
Staffy rejoined, so that actually the safety car then helped Staffy, otherwise Nismax would have been in front now. If Staffy can reclaim, he will stay then in front of Nismax.
For now, the safety car staying out.
5 seconds, stop go penalty, severe collision with TnB Force. Whoosh. Of course, not Force who got it, that is someone else.
Cowboy got it.
Yeah, because Cowboy collided with Force.
Getting really close there, the top 3. Just got to be so careful. Don't hit each other. Don't hit the safety car.
That's it. Don't want that damage unnecessary.
Island, you stay a second clear of the car in front of you when it's a safety car.
You never really know what the guy's going to do. Suddenly he's weaving, keeping his tires warm, and then he slams on brakes. You got to keep some sort of a cushion. We're approaching that straight, and I haven't seen the message yet, so it seems like it's going to stay out for another lap.
It's going to be another lap.
Safety car usually stays out for 3 laps. Obviously this helps. Now some of the guys on ultras and softs can go that little bit longer, and it saves fuel.
I must commend Nismax on his perseverance because he's actually now in the race. He can actually continue. Of course, kept on trying. So many guys would have just quit and give up and went to bed or whatever, not to participate. He kept trying. Of course, as we all know, you can't keep Nismax down. You can even send over Ricky Lowe with his clippies as well as the captain. You can send them over to Nismax and they can't even down Nismax.
And
but
I think when he realized who he would be handing the championship to, then
more
he
perseverance.
said, no, I've got to get in here.
Correct. But as I'm saying, if you send Ricky Lowe with his clippies as well as the captain over to Nismax, they can't down him. But yet, every other day, Nismax will down Ricky Lowe with his clippies and the captain without blinking.
This
Just
safety
shows you
car
Nesmax.
actually,
Nesmax is Mr. Power. He's not gonna give us up. As long as he can, he's gonna fight.
I can say one thing the safety car has helped. One person it's helped was the.
Safety car
And
coming
there you
in.
go.
Safety car coming in. Yeah, Wazi actually made up positions. He's now on 12 after he's been down to last place. So obviously with early pit now he's still quite with everybody. So it's just now all out racing. Nicely spotted there, Rob. Of course we must keep an eye on him as well.
Pitted.
Of course Gav Big's now.
I'm gonna pull the trigger.
Let's have a look and see what's Gav Big's plan.
Probably around just on the exit of the hairpin.
The safety car just now going around the corner of his back straight.
Why he should have backed him down a little bit more.
Yes, it's going faster than what you would think.
Okay, he goes.
There we go, putting it down.
Oh, Gavin gets a bad exit.
Oh, and that brings DW. And Y races right on the back of. Oh wow, Y racer going for that corner inside of DW.
Y racer's got it.
And
TnB West retired. Gav Big down to third, both DW and Y racer overtaking.
He ran wide.
And they both went on the inside, better race. And now Cam is actually looking for pop opportunity. Cam now pushing the inside and Cam dives. Oh, Cam hits the back of DW a little bit too hot. But he stays ahead of a Gav Big. Gav Big actually losing 3 places. He loses 3 places in a matter of corners. Now Vino, oh and Vino and Gav Big, there's contact.
There goes.
And the Wolf retires.
Wolf has retired. That's 4 retirements now.
Sorry, it was not Gav Big, it was actually the Wolf and Vino looks like that made contact. Gav Big is fine, he's still unscathed. I for a moment thought it was Gav Big, because Vino was right on the back of Big.
But look at that, Gav 14, Nismax, sorry, Gav 4th, Nismax 5th.
Nismax is coming for him, Nismax is there.
They have found each other on track against all odds. Started first and 10.
Gav Big gonna go have a look for Cam going on the inside. Ah, that's too easy. Straightforward.
He overdid it.
And Cam's gonna come back.
Cam's gonna come back.
Gav has the inside line.
Corner.
And Gav Big, oh, luckily he kept his head because Gav Big tends to be a little hot-headed and then he can throw it away. Because Cam will now have the inside line.
Side by side into turn 1.
Oh, Gav Big goes wide. And Nismax goes past. Yes, Nismax is past.
And there was contact between Gav and Cameron.
Correct. It also looked to me like that. Both of them can be hot-headed.
Some busy stewards later on with the championship at stake.
But of course, if things stay like it is now, Nismax finishing ahead of her peak, it means we can go to the last race for the championship.
That's right.
Guys, one interesting thing. Check at the clouds in the air.
That rain is coming. It's coming.
Something to remember from Nismax is that he didn't claim points in the first 2 races of the season. So things could have looked very different.
Correct.
I think Nismax might have Cam, yeah?
First 2 races of the season, I was in a Ferrari alone.
Of course, DRS will open.
No, it's only after 3 laps.
Oh yeah, it's actually
Cam
one more.
Defensive.
Cam's very defensive. Nismax holds his line. He will, Nismax will have a better drive out here. Yeah, rain started falling. Rain is coming. Rain actually it started dripping.
As you say that, I've just seen the flashes across my screen. They're not going to have a lot of fun with DRS. It's going to go soon.
1 or 2 laps and when it's going to come
till the end, or is it going to dry up at the end?
I think it's going to dry up again. This is going to be one of those changing conditions for all time. Guys,
Still a
another
long
thing,
way to
actually,
go.
Wazzy is up to 8th position now.
Nismax crucially in front of Gavin. I say crucially in terms of the championship. Taking us forward to next week. Gavin just having a fantastic start to the race, but not having a fantastic restart after the safety car.
Losing places in the first few corners.
Because
Now
right
the
from the
question
start,
is, who's gonna... Sorry, Jonathan.
right from the start, when he pulled off, you could see he didn't get superior traction. DW actually got a better go than him, and then they're into turn one. Just ran wide, and everyone was so close together at that point that he ended up losing 2 positions, and then later on
Cam, oh, no, that looks like Cam's actually made more than one move, eh? Nesmax on the outside down. It almost looks like one excessive move, eh, from Cam.
Cam sliding around.
Now.
Nesmax with a much better drive, he will have DRS now, and the gap pick will also be up here. Nesmax on the inside. Gap pick is also right up there. And gap pick is also going to come past Cam. So gap pick will tail through
like
with Nesmax, so both of them still sticking together.
Just like that goes from a podium position to 5th in one corner.
I can tell you, TnB Force is the first to pit onto the intermediates.
I think it's a bit too early.
I also think it's a bit too early.
Yeah, I don't see any spray.
Because DRS is not even disabled yet.
Yes.
Unless he's trying something else.
Like it's setting up any spray at this stage. It looks slippery.
That promotes
the first possible thing that happens is you come in, you change, and while you're in the pits, you actually see DRS disabled. That's perfect timing.
That promotes Wazzy to 7th, actually.
I think if you spend too much time on a track that's not ready for inters, you may ruin those tyres.
Yes.
Shorten their life at least.
I think Wazzy might make his move on Staffy, yeah? Now he's already passed before DRS.
On the outside. Yeah, he's definitely
up to 6th. And he'll start his pursuit of 5th, which is held by Cam.
Van Tonder, yes, we actually know about that, and it's unfortunately it's the same thing race in, race out. A lot of lagging on Ronald's side. Wazzy now, of course, running in 6th position.
With that car in the past.
Wazzy now will actually hunt down Cam, who's actually staying intact with Nesmax and the pig. Of course, Nesmax gaining on DW.
Cam is playing a bit of drifting coming out of turn 2. And again,
sliding around, obviously on that set of softs, the track beginning to get wetter, and it's going to be certain parts of the track that you've just got to understand. You can't take them as if the track was dry.
Correct.
Can't make a mistake. It's a critical part of the race. You're on a track that is getting wet but isn't wet, and you're on softs, which probably isn't optimal, and a mistake is so easy. So next couple of laps critical so they can get on inters.
you can tell you Springbok Game and Art is also having a battle.
Oh, Springbok Gamer having a look at Cowboy.
Nice. Oh,
inside,
got
much better drive out of that corner.
Nice move there from the Springbok Gamer.
We may get a glimpse of who are the rain drivers now. As the rain begins to fall, this top 10 could...
Nesmax now under 2 seconds behind DW.
And crucially for Nesmax, he's creating a gap to Gavin.
Mm.
The question is, when's it gonna be right to go in for a set of inters?
Clearly not as early as forced it.
Well, I think the safest bet is when you see the DRS disabled.
The inters aren't
Just not
really
good.
kicking up any sprays, so... Or that's what I can see.
I haven't seen spray just yet.
No, same here.
There is spray coming off the slicks, but not enough to fit for the intermediates, really. Was he catching up to Cam?
Soon this is going to be another DRS bar situation. This Max now just outside DRS zone from De Wet. Now coming in within
That's if
DRS.
DRS doesn't get disabled before he gets to utilize it.
Now was this also just outside the DRS range of Cam?
Mr. Fernandez, that's up at your era.
What era?
Ever!
I don't think so.
Yeah, it was actually a bit before us. Not much, but a little bit. One era too soon. Right, there's Max now only 0.8 behind DW.
Was it 0.7 behind and 0.8 behind Gav?
Yeah, was he also
behind Cam?
Was he's definitely there in DRS zone.
But we all know the race can be
getting out of shape there.
Cam is sliding viciously.
Cam getting heavily out of shape there, and that's just going to allow Wazzy to get closer and closer. Just 4 tenths of a second now in it.
He can get a good drive. He can do this even before the DRS zone.
And this Max has,
and that's exactly what he's going to do. He's right on the inside of Cam now.
You want to get side by side and then activate DRS.
DRS, why's he on the
and
inside?
There we go, he opens it now.
I can say more drivers went onto the inters now.
DRS disabled, here we go. A lot of guys going to come in now to the pits.
So all the front runners are going to come in.
Everyone's going to
got Cam, but I can see both of them coming in. Yep, and so we do.
Problem with this is now everybody jumped in. I wonder if there's going to be any double stacking.
Yes.
That's makes
possibility with everyone just jumping into the pits.
Good stop by Ferrari.
And the top 3 stays the same. Top 4, top 5, top 6 stays the same.
Was he actually?
Staffy gonna come out?
Yeah, Was is just now behind Gavpeak. Staffy is just behind Cameron.
Ronald gets Staffy. Oh, Steph.
Ooh.
So we've got Bar Racer first, DW second, this match still third.
Gavpeak fourth, of course, still, and Was is now running in fifth.
Ms. Max will want to get as far up the field as he possibly can. It's one thing about keeping the championship alive, but he'll want to grab as many points as he can to make.
If he can get a few drivers between him and the peak, even better. Because for more players, more drivers he can have between him and the peak, the better for him. Because the more points he will take out of the lead.
The more points, yeah, the more points Gav will will ultimately lose.
Oh, yellow sick. No,
Because he needs to
just
close
repeat.
that 27-point
Oh,
gap.
Gav Pig having a
or the
look at
championship will be
Nismax
over.
now. Yeah,
Turn it the
and
other
Gav
way
is
around.
making it stick. But Nismax still staying on him.
Oh, yeah. So Nismax make a mistake because he was.
Oh,
On
Gav
circuit
bounced
is
on
it?
it.
On circuit is the championship.
Yes.
Right there in
Was
front of
he's
you.
also not part of that battle.
And I think it's about, I think the one behind is actually in a better position because the pressure's on the guy running in front.
Well, you can basically sit back and watch these two, and if there's a mistake, you can capitalize on both.
On both.
That's the way I see it. You've got Gavin third, Nesmax in fourth, championship up for grabs, a lot of pressure, and mistake comes and Wazzy will find himself on the podium. Need to be careful.
Yep. Just that. Yeah,
It's not quite up to temperature. Need to just take it easy and obviously adapt to the wet circuit and just know what you can do on the wet circuit and what you can't before you really get up to,
of course, those guys
to
who
the
did
top speed you're capable of.
Those guys who managed to do those few laps at the start of Q1, they actually had a bit of experience of that, so that hopefully can play into their hands now.
Race is still leading the race by 2.4 seconds. Gap just coming down ever so slightly. Down to DW.
Oh, Waz is going to have a look at this, Max. No, he thinks about it, or better of it.
I think Wazzy must also be under pressure if he's aware of the championship standings. It's very difficult to make a move on these two.
Gavin runs wide.
I'd be quite worried about destroying the championship.
Will be who can put the most pressure and who can actually absorb the pressure the best.
Because if that was the championship position and I was where Wazzy was, I would literally wait for a mistake. I don't think I could do anything risky.
Last thing you want to do is to be the one messing up the championship for any of these two.
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean,
we're not going to
that's
love you
the last
after the
thing
race.
you want. So I would take the position if the position was available, but I wouldn't necessarily take risky maneuvers. So your top three remain the same: Y Racer, TnB, DW, and Gavin. Nismax still there in fourth place. Hasn't let Gavin get away. Still in the same frame, just 0.7 of a second between the two of them.
Gavin, it looks like Gavin's struggling in the.
Yes.
In the
He ran wide there. He went over a
Nismax
curb.
cannot capitalize on it.
Lost a bit of time there. The gap went down from 0.7 to 0.4, just because he was on that curb for a bit too, or for a while too long. But now Y Racer able to maintain that gap 2.5 seconds, just keeping a comfortable cushion. And while Nismax and Gavin continue to fight,
YG closed up again.
it will allow DW and Y Racer to stay ahead.
And yet, speaking of both, the gap between them actually seems to be stagnant. Y Racer not pulling away, and DW also not catching.
Just stabilized at 2.5 seconds, and it's been there for the past couple of laps. So seems like Nismax made a bit of a mistake. Still in fourth place, but
from that corner, The guy that took those corners the best traction there was Wazzy.
So keep talking about Gavin and Nismax, but Wazzy right on the end of this. He could come into play. As it stands, Gavin would win the championship.
Gavin running wide again. I think he gets better traction when he goes that wide, but he will certainly be starting to get penalized.
Because Nismax is not gaining on that.
Limits.
The last thing you want now is a 3-second time penalty. A 3-second time penalty in this situation would put Nismax and Wazzy in front of him. Obviously strict corner cutting.
And that will actually make Wazzy finish ahead of him, so which means
I can tell you one thing, the next time Gavin does that, he will actually get a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits.
Which means then Wazzy and Nismax will be ahead of him, which means Wazzy will be in between Nismax and Gavpeak.
Just take that extra 5 or 6 points away from Gavin, and it could be critical. We know Singapore can be a tricky
Wazzy right
track.
up there.
If I was Gav, I would be much happier if I could get the job done today. Singapore can be tricky.
This time round, Wazzy was worse off in those corners.
And Nismax right there. Just half a second between the two of them, and then a further 7/10 back to Wazzy. So 1.2 seconds covers the 3 cars.
At the moment, this is the only real battle going on.
And DW is catching Y-Racer, but not by much.
The gap is actually under 2 seconds now, and it was 2.6. So Y-Racer probably made a mistake. So Gavin runs wide away.
Again.
Same corner again, running wide.
Interesting. Not getting a penalty.
Needs to be careful. If he went
but
a little bit wider than that, he would have got gravel.
Nismax.
He's the later of the breaks. It's going to be Gavin for now.
Thought better of it. He was having a look.
There's no DRS, but should be able to pick up a slipstream.
Of course, Wazzy now right in the back of Ferrari.
You know, did decide if we have another slipstream glitch like on 2017?
Ooh.
Because Nismax was right behind him and because Nismax was now right behind him, but he didn't gain any time.
Didn't seem to make up any ground. Obviously, you've still got the use of ERS.
Devsika retired.
On the straight, you could put it up into overtake. Does give you quite the boost.
On another yellow flag.
Was a Red Bull. Maybe they don't want no.
No, then that's still the part of the Devsika incident.
Yeah.
Because he's
Second safety car could really spice things up. Every time I see the yellow, I look up in anticipation.
These guys are actually catching the battle for the lead. So
and Y-Racer actually looks like Y-Racer pulled away a little bit from TW, but TW right back on it.
1.7 seconds that gap, and then the gap back to third from second. That gap is currently 2.1 seconds. So if these three manage to catch up to the leaders, well, things could get a whole lot more complicated.
Hey, a 5-way fight.
It would be an absolutely fantastic scenario to have the top 5 fighting for the lead at approaching the midpoint of the race.
Slipstream is still there. Was he making a move on Nismax and runs wide, runs too deep.
Too hot.
Yeah.
That will now obviously open the gap from Nismax to Gavin. He would have lost time there.
1.1 seconds.
That's just opened that gap up, given Gavin a bit of a breather. Getting that red proximity arrow off his screen. EW still 1.8 seconds. 1.8 seconds is still the gap. So it was stagnant at 2.5, then dropped down to 1.7. Now it seems to be stabilized again at 1.7 or 1.8 seconds. And that gap to third, 1.8 seconds from 2.1. So it is coming down. And I think Gavin could be on the back of these two pretty soon. Nismax continuing to drop back though. 1.4 seconds now the gap. Running wide again. Not getting that corner right.
Surprised he hasn't gotten a penalty yet.
Oh, he's very wide. He had all four wheels on the green stuff.
Yeah. And Gavin has 3 warnings here. 1 for collision with DW and then 2 for exceeding track limits. So
needs to be careful. Needs to be aware of those warnings. Could be the any corner that he gets a penalty now, and it could change this result.
Could potentially destroy his race.
Cameron has dropped back. He's in 6th, but that gap is now 11 seconds from Wazzy. He's a lot quicker in the dry part of the race.
Oh, and Force retires.
Force now retiring from the session.
Oh, we completely lost that one.
12 runners. 12 runners of the 18 who started.
Oh.
Gaps again, just stable. Everyone doing very similar pace, obviously.
And look at that, the top 5. About 6-7 seconds separate the top 5.
5.5 seconds, that's right, covering the top 5. Nothing in it really, this race could go either way. You know, just one mistake or one penalty or speeding into the pit lane, or there's so many things that could happen. Where you could potentially be at the front of those 5 on screen, but be in 5th on the timing sheet.
Interesting, Gavin goes to the pits.
Gavin diving into the pit, I'm not sure if it's is he gonna attempt the wets, but that would be risky.
Let's see.
Comes in 6th now, let's see what comes on.
Set of weights. Set of full weights.
Gavin will become the first car to, the first driver to attempt the full wets. My screen now just confusing me, showing me green wall tires, but I can see the tread of a wet tire. Good job there. And now they're flashing between green and blue, so it'll figure it out eventually.
It's the color of the Toro Rosso.
Currently in 7th place, behind Ronald. Gap of 1.5 seconds.
This can cost him. This can actually cost him time if you really can't get past Ronald and not get this set of full weights to work.
Just got to watch that gap of 1.5 seconds. If it's coming down, then obviously the wet weather tires are at the right. It's the right time. But if he's not able to catch Ronald, then I think maybe he was jumped the gun.
Okay. And Jonathan, you thought your screen was confusing you. I'm seeing a set of softs on Y-Racer's car.
Well,
No,
if that were true,
not.
I'd say brave maneuver. If that were true, I'd say brave maneuver.
No, there's definitely a glitch. Oh yes, it shows soft, but if you look at the counter, says
Yeah, it shows
Inters.
Inters.
But on the actual
the
photo
timings.
says of, yeah, no, that's a glitch.
So I think we can rely on the timing screen. Don't pay too much attention to.
So what's happening on the car? Ooh, Gavin getting on the curb and losing the rear a little bit. He's
That
not really
gap now
catching.
between Ronald, I said 1.5, it went down briefly to 1.4, but now up to 2 seconds. So I don't think those wet weather tyres are in the right. They're not in the right operating temperature. I don't think it's quite there yet.
But Gav on full wets.
But obviously, if the conditions change now and everyone has to dive into the pits,
He might be the winner.
he's already on the right tyre, could be different. But that gap is growing now, 2.2 seconds down to Ronald. So losing time. As I say that, I think Ronald ran wide there. Should be able to get a little bit of time back. Still 2.2 seconds.
It went up to 2.4, now it's back down to 2.3, now 2.5.
Well, I'm guessing
Gavin.
that it is getting wetter. That's why Gav jumped the gun. But surely you can't go back to Inters. You've just got to ride it out. You just got to ride it out until the track is ready for those tyres.
I can tell you, Wazzy got past Nesmax. And he's now 0.5 behind DW.
Not far behind DW at all. Could be fighting for that position shortly. Mercedes-Benz versus Williams. Don't think a commentator has said that this season.
Maybe only the Mercedes-Benz lapping the Williams, and that's, I think, all. And even with a McLaren leading a race. That doesn't happen a lot.
That would be a fantastic top 3 if it ever happened.
Well, I can tell you one thing, Gavin is just losing time on that set of wets. 3.3 seconds now. And he slides off the track, going wide. Keeps it under control at least. Now up to 4 seconds.
I know it would be Robbie's best birthday present next year. George Russell in a Williams beating Lewis Hamilton in a Merc.
Yeah.
That would
be an excellent birthday present.
Well, I'm going slightly more realistic. I'm just hoping for Leclerc to beat Vettel at least a couple of times.
No, might have it on Leclerc next season.
It's gonna be an interesting matchup, and I mean, like, we've already forgotten about some of the sign-ups that were announced much earlier on in the season.
Wazzy's making a move, sorry Jono. Wazzy's making a move on DW side by side. I think Wazzy might have the better line. Yep, and Wazzy's up into second. And Jonathan, just look at the gap from Gavin to Ronald. 7 seconds.
Yeah, definitely now 7 seconds, losing an incredible amount of time in this midpoint of the race. And I think now if the guys have to pit for wets, Gavin's just lost too much time by going too early. He's effectively penalised himself by almost 8 seconds now. Well, when he came out of the pits, the gap was 1.5 seconds. So he's lost 6 seconds.
He's into the fence and almost into a barrier.
Gavin now into the pit thing. We'll see if will he go back to Inters?
He should.
But if the conditions are worsening, he's going to have to come in again in a couple of laps.
That's another set of Inters.
Okay, then maybe conditions aren't getting worse.
And Wazzy's now catching Y-Racer. Nesmax is on DW.
So now Gavin coming out in 8th place, 14 seconds adrift of Staffy.
And Nesmax is now making a move for 3rd place on DW.
Shot Ferrari driver up to 3rd place, and crucially Gavin down in 8th. So this
excellent
really
battle
throws
going
the
on
cat
for
amongst the
third,
pigeons.
Looks like Nesmax might come out on top. Still side by side. This is excellent.
Go down the straight. Gonna go down the straight into turn 1. Seems like Nesmax has just got his nose in front, going into. Ooh, look at that. Nesmax.
That white.
Oh, excellent racing, guys.
Nicely done.
This is excellent racing.
But not the easiest conditions at all.
And Jonathan, and I think you
You're
might be right.
You're racing side by side at parts of the circuit you don't want to be side by side at, plus it's wet. And there's no contact.
And Jonathan,
that's great driving.
I can tell you one thing, Vina is now on a set of wet, so did Gavin just make another mistake from going back to those inters?
I think now what we can do is we can watch that gap from Villarreal to Cowboy, see if it closes, see if it grows, and we can just
take it from
keep an eye on the conditions and see when
but why?
it looks like wet is the right tyre.
Because surely there's not much between the wet and the inters. He was maybe too hard-headed going back already so quick.
The track looks like it's getting worse. Yeah, Vina's catching actually.
A lot of spray coming up. That gap's 2 seconds, 1.9, so just hovering there.
Oh,
but,
why is he now within a second? And why Racer runs wide?
Running wide. But let's see if they're gonna go into the pits or set of rates.
Nope, we're not.
They're staying out.
Going out for the time being, nothing in it between the top two,
That
just
makes
4
sense,
tenths
well.
of a second. And if these two battle for a little longer, it's going to allow Nismax to close that 4.4 second gap.
Yes.
That's just gotten a little bit too big. So we'll want to jump on the opportunity of these two fighting and possibly losing time to each other. Gap down to third, still 4.4 seconds.
Plenty. He's got plenty of guys between him and the pig. So you don't need to risk it.
I think Gavin.
Nismax will still be looking for the full 25 points.
Hey, the more you can get, the better.
You need to make Singapore as easy as possible.
Yeah. I think Gavin might need to have to stop again because I don't think he's going to be able to take those inters.
And there's your 3 second time penalty.
There comes that white running
now. There's your 3 second time penalty.
That's for white running coming in.
Vina is closing, but not by much. But the Inters doesn't look happy anymore.
So now for Gavin to finish. So now for Gavin to finish in the position that appears on screen.
Oh, Waji,
he will have to finish in that position.
Waji's on right razor, guys. Let's have a look here, Waji. And Waji go wide again. Waji with a better drive. Wide razor staying on the inside.
Oh, okay.
Waji again with better drive. Wide razor extra wide. But the track is not that wet for wet. And Waji actually on the outside. And Waji makes it. Waji makes it. And he's going to run wide.
He goes too deep.
Goes way too deep.
Way too deep.
Happened to him earlier as well.
First corner is just so tricky.
Especially when it's wet.
In these conditions, you can't blame him. Really difficult corner to get your braking, to get your turning point right, and that's in qualifying on a hot lap. When you're side by side with someone else, it gets a whole lot more complicated.
And Nesmax actually worked through all of that. Nesmax gained more than a second on them.
And Gavin is really struggling down there in 8th place. Okay, it might actually be time for the wet tires because Vina's now right on Cowboy.
But the track is not that wet. It's not that much standing water. And Wazi is lining up Y Racer again.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm having a bit of lag on my screen.
Wazi taking a bit more curve in Y Racer. Nesmax gained more time on these two.
Not quite close enough this time around.
But Wazi
But if
taking
you're out
risk.
on board with Wazi, these conditions really don't look good. But like you say, not a lot of standing water.
Nesmax soon actually going to have a look at these two guys.
Yeah, Vino really closed that gap to Cowboy now. 0.2 of a second.
So it might be time for the wet, but it might not be wet enough or for long enough for the guys really to go to a set of wet tires.
Going in for another pit stop for wets now would really not be in Gavin's favour.
Nope.
Already has done one unnecessary pit stop in the race. Won't want to do any more. Right with Villarreal just losing a bit of time and he's diving into the pits. Villarreal is diving into the pits on the wets.
Which is not
My
working.
prediction, yeah, is he's obviously going to go back onto the Yinters. I don't see any damage on the car. So clearly conditions not great enough for wet, so nobody's having
Back
surf
on
issues. Wonder if that had anything to do with listening to Jeff.
Won't be the first time that happened. No, no!
Comes out right.
Oh no, that would of course Wazi there. Vino coming out of the pits and just
Vino comes out of the pits.
And Wazi actually diving on to take that corner and just that faintness of clipping there. Luckily it doesn't seem like Wazi sustained any damage there. But it was just enough to actually send him sliding.
I think Vino should have backed off.
No visible damage on that front wing for Wazi,
I
but he's
also
sitting in
feel
top
Vino
now.
should have backed off a bit more. Giving these two a chance to get away.
I think when you do come out of the pits, you should try and be aware.
You should be very mindful of these
who's on
type of
circuit.
battles.
So that's unfortunate, but now that promotes Nismax up to second place. Gavin's still in 8th, so but he is closing in on Staffy, so that could soon be 7th, but remember that 3-second time penalty. It's 26 laps to go.
Basically 8 seconds between him and Staffy at this stage.
Now basically whatever that gap is, you're going to have to
Bear
add
in
3
mind,
seconds
Staffy is like 19 seconds behind Ronald.
Behind, yeah.
So even if he does make that pass, go to 7th, I think 6th is going to take quite an amazing drive. And you've got Nismax
But
up
two
in
Force
2nd.
India
just 2
drivers are having a
seconds
battle
adrift
here. The two teammates are really going to go for it.
I think Ronald might have it, yeah.
Solid drive. Definitely have a better traction there.
Going down the straight together. He's going to get a bit of slipstream.
Should have stayed in
only
the
make one
slipstream
move.
longer.
Only make one move under braking.
Cam made several moves there
And
again. And it's not the first time I
gonna
see
be
Cam.
close. But Ronald manages to get past. But I don't know if it was just me, but I think there was more than one in the braking.
And there was several by Cam there. That's not allowed. Then no, nice
now
for
we have
Ronald,
another
but
battle
still.
between.
In the rain, you can always argue that you weren't in full control of the car. But
Nesmax now
On a
just about
straight.
just under 1.5 seconds actually going to our racer.
Ronald will want to try and get away here a little bit.
No, Wazzy now has to recover now.
Have a bit of
Literally
recovery
less than a
drive.
second. 8 cents between him and DW.
This Max and Y racer, the gap comes under a second. 7 tenths of a second now. So Y racer must have made a mistake somewhere. Just run a bit wide. Lost 4 tenths of a second in a matter of corners. And now Nizmax could become in contention for the lead of this race. And if you consider his qualifying session, I think if it was, well, I know if it was me, I wouldn't have been in this race if I had left the session that many times. So perseverance has led him to second place.
So now we have a
And
battle
only his
for first
decision to
and
keep trying
third.
could win him the championship.
Gapik is actually gaining now on Staff, now less than 3 seconds. Staff also now gaining on Cameron, that's now less than 19 seconds.
Gavin Sonda doesn't sound that healthy to me, eh?
Don't say that to DW.
Raji obviously right in the back of DW.
Y racer still leading this race as he has for a majority of the race.
Wazi very close with DW now. Actually, on the inside, DW
side
goes
by
wide.
side.
Wazi's already ahead.
Wazzy's gone through. You've got another battle on track. You've got Staffy and Gavin within a second of each other. And you've got Y Racer and Nizmax within a second of each other.
And DW should now have a much better drive out. Stephanie was on the inside. And DW thinks better of it.
Now Gavin in 8th, he wants to get past
Gappy going
Staffy.
up to 7th.
And he gets it. Staffy just went offline there a little bit. And allowed Gavin to go past quite easily. But now his next opponent will be Cameron, who's 16 seconds up the road. So, don't know how much speed he does have. Does he have 16 seconds?
I mean, if you look forward up to the pack, Ronald 27 seconds behind DW. So there's quite several positions. A time gap in between. That's a lot for Gatsby to make up, and it's only like 25 so laps left. Well, 23 after this.
It's not a good result for Gavin, but it's a good result for the championship. Good result for the
It makes
championship.
it much interesting with one race to go.
Could have something interesting coming in Singapore. Got to be honest, didn't really want the dead rubber at Singapore.
I can say the battle for first is starting to top 6/10 of a second between Y Racer and Nesmax.
But Y Racer keeping steady. Nesmax also not pushing the car too much. Don't want to risk it too completely.
Question is, are these guys taking it to the end, or are they going to stop again?
I don't want to see a dead rubber in Singapore because I'm tired of seeing dead rubbers in night races. I'm pointing at you, Abu Dhabi.
Well, but look at the amount of laps left. If it should come to more rain to the end, we're definitely going to have to stop again.
22 laps to go.
I don't know. Cameron made a mistake, but Gavin closed the gap to 8 seconds. To go now.
Well, these guys already did like 20 laps on the Inters.
I had to have made a mistake somewhere. Obviously Gavin's inters are a lot fresher because he had that stint on wets. Gap now 6.8 seconds between Gavin and Cameron, so making up a lot of ground on that Force India, and he knows he needs to get every last point he can. And as Max gets closer to that first place, it's 0.3 of a second, nothing in it. And he's now getting in the position again that he can pounce on Y Racer.
Jonathan, where's your
He
song?
even senses an opportunity.
Mr. Voice, appreciate it. Where's your song? This is your theme song.
Oh, fantastic.
There was something in there, Fernando.
Yeah, no, that's my interesting nickname, Fernando.
Fernando.
You're already singing to me and I didn't even have to get you drunk.
Was you now coming to just lap Pino for real? Slowly taking some time out of Nismax, who's staying right still with Y Racer.
No,
He wants to get fast, but I think he knows he's got to be oh so careful. Can only go for a pass if he's 100% sure.
Correct.
Doesn't want
risk
any
it.
damage at this point. In a strong position in second, that's 18 points if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's 18.
And how many points for 7? 6? I think it's 6. So that would close the gap by 12 points. Your gap in round 10 would be 15 points. Still substantial. That's why Nismax wants to pick up that full 25 points.
I just wonder what the state of those tires are in after 22 laps.
Well, if you look at it, the top 5 drivers have all done 22 laps on their inters. And I'm pretty sure so has Cam, he's just 15 seconds behind. So the top 6 drivers, they're all on pretty old inters.
And Gavin gets
Gavin's past Cameron.
Here we go. We're in it.
Now Gavin's got that fresh set of inters,
Oh,
remember?
Gavin runs white. Gavin runs white. But he did enough to make it stick.
Cameron down to 7th now. And Nismax still just staying there, keeping Y Racer in very close view, but I haven't seen him do anything too risky. He hasn't stuck his nose out.
He's catching.
Well, he's keeping just that 2/10. If there's any sort of mistake, any running wide, any bad acceleration, he can just pounce on it. You know, DRS obviously going into that pit straight now.
Guys, interesting news. It's not raining anymore.
No. Should also started dripping. It's actually drying.
I see that. Oh, and there's something that seems to have returned. Yes, it has returned. There's confirmation. I don't know if this was a Christmas gift that came with our patch from yesterday, but it seems like the revving glitch is back.
I also noticed it.
Go on board with Nizmax. It's
I have it with Gavin. I have it with Gavin.
I had it with Wazzy earlier, and I'm on board with Nizmax at the moment. It's not happening yet.
They fixed that in patch 14 and broke it in patch 15. Wasn't even a lot of time between them. Now I can understand if they fixed it in patch 3 and break it in patch 10 like they forgot.
Why race really wide, but Nizmax don't want to push it too much.
I think he might have Juarez on the straight here. If he gets the...
Ooh, that's what I mean. You've just got to be so careful. If the guy breaks a bit earlier than you expect, you could lose a front wing going for that pit stop.
But of course,
and your result's gonna look so different.
Coming out on dry tires will also mean DRS is back into place.
Yeah, definitely, that's right. But now, when will it be time to come in? And this could still flip the result in any direction. I mean, Y-Racer could make a mistake going on to dries. Nizmac could make a mistake going on to dries by a couple of laps, jumping the gun. We've seen it before in this race. So, I think that top 4 could still switch around.
Correct.
And if you remember too earlier they said, ooh, Y-Racer getting very close.
Gavin got a 10-second gap now down to 5th place. Ronald will want to close that. It's a 13-second gap. Try keep track of the penalties.
Gavin isn't really closing because it's jumping between 10.9 and 11.0. And there it goes slower.
And Ronald on the much older tyres. Ronald on the much older tyres compared to Gavin. 25 laps versus 13. Literally double the usage on Ronald's tyres.
Now Gavin is
able to maintain.
Good.
I think he's closing in certain sectors and losing in others. The effects of a drying track.
I think that's going a little bit wide.
This match is now really close, but he's been this close before.
Correct.
He backs off.
Doesn't make the move. And you know, this is actually it's fantastic driving by Y-Racer. He's probably had a red proximity arrow on his screen for the past 5 laps. And
he goes wide.
Now they go side by side. Down the straight.
Nizmax has it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Nizmax got it.
Got in front. He leads this race. Gavin down in 6th.
Oh, Y-Racer is going to look at the...
VC.
Renault retired. Renault is out.
VC has been released.
Yeah, I also see it because we're going very slow now. Ooh, Y-Racer. No,
now the question is it dry enough to go for the slicks? And Benedict will be the first.
Yeah, we're also running wide. Well, interesting.
I don't know if going on to slicks during this virtual safety car, I think it's a bit early.
I also think so.
I wouldn't
45 maybe?
Maybe another lap or 2.
I'd say, yeah, like another 2-3 laps, and I think you can start thinking about But 2-3 laps, that would bring you up to lap 42, which means you'd have to do the last 14 laps.
Goes wide.
Could you do the last 14 laps on a set of ultras? I'm sure you could.
Yeah, you can.
And this make
Finish
actually
the race on a set of ultras.
DRS enabled. Here we go. Pit stop can happen now. With that, actually, Y-Racer fell back to Nesmax. Nesmax is now out of DRS.
Just watch Nesmax. I'm sure he's going to dive into the pits. I'm sure Y-Racer will do the same thing. Then they've got Wazzy 6 seconds adrift. So
and
everyone will be
not
coming
good for
into the pits in single file.
Nesmax is actually coming up to back markers.
It looks like Ati.
Quite a funny view there from the camera.
Cars.
Absolutely
Cowboy
no one turning
Cowboy's
onto
ahead
the
of
pit
Springbok
straight.
Gamer.
Oh, Nesmax loses wing.
Nesmax has lost wing in the pit lane entry.
And Y-Racer overtakes him on the outside of a pit. Excessive slowing down
He's
there.
going to have to change a wing. To be honest, there was a bit of confusion there.
Yes.
There was about 3 cars taking up the same space. And,
almost like a bit of an illegal overtake there by Y-Racer.
Like Ati and another car were basically ghosting within each other, and suddenly Ati bounced back, and there wasn't much
Springbok Gamer and Cowboy. Cowboy is almost like it was going very slow. Springbok Gamer had to take action, went very slow, which caused Nesmax to run off his front wing, and all of that Y-Racer just came past him.
And Wazzy overtook him in the pit due to the wing change.
And now Y-Racer's in the lead of this race. He's led for every part of this race that I can remember until, and
got a lap ago, and then he claimed you back.
You know, if he wins this race, he's won this race by keeping to his own race and just being consistent. He hasn't got involved in any trouble. He's just led the race. And he's come under pressure a couple of times. Heavy pressure.
Now the question is, can Nesmax get back? Interesting, Cam went on to a set of mediums.
Not sure why you would do that at this point in the race. And also the way I understand it is if a track is drying, your best chance on a dry tyre is your softest option on the weekend. So
Staff is the only one on the ultra soft, everyone else is out on
the softs, and then just Cam out on the medium.
And then Stephanie on ultras, yeah.
Well, if Steph is on ultras, Cam is on mediums, maybe that 11-second gap could still change before the end of the race. For the time being, Y-Racer in command, 3.7 seconds lead over Wazzy, and then you've got a further 5.7 seconds down to Nesmax. That wing damage really cost him.
He could have actually ultimately come out of a pit in first position.
Even if he didn't come out in first, he would have come out extremely close to Y-Racer. Now he finds himself 9 seconds behind Y-Racer. So that wing change has cost him 9
but
seconds.
But as he came into the pits, I did say back markers, and the back markers did play their role. You're talking about coming up on the softest compound possible. Of course, keeping in mind, playing this game's career mode. With career mode, Jeff is also... It actually tends to bring you out on the harder compound. Not the hardest compound, but the harder of the 2 softer compounds.
Okay.
There are some interesting news. Springbok Gaming is out on 10 laps of softs.
Wazzy goes fastest.
So
that's impossible, that's impossible. He just put it with Nesmax.
Well, it says there now he's done 11 laps on softs, which means he did a lot of wet weather racing on softs.
Isn't that maybe before it started to rain?
I have no
And
idea. Maybe it's a used
unless
set of socks.
I was just about to say,
Could
unless
be
it's
a used set of socks.
used set of a used set, yeah.
Could be the set of socks he
For
started the
Springbok
race on.
gamer.
Don't have any socks left, and then we put on used set.
And then Gavin goes fastest.
Put your top 7, make it your top 6 all on softs. All brand new sets of softs. 2 and 3 laps old.
Why racer runs why? He's stuck on a curve. He surely lost some time there to Wazzy.
2.4 seconds now the gap between
And
first and
Staffy goes
second.
fastest.
Wazzy still in contention for this.
He's closing down Y Racer.
2.1 seconds now. So it takes another
And
2 tenths.
Gavin has catched up to Ronald.
And we have Force leaving the session.
And Y goes fastest.
He's already out of the race.
He's had enough of our commentary. He's doesn't want to watch anymore.
I think it was our commentary more than that, but yeah. Ron going inside, but Vistor Ross's got just too much speed.
Just 2 seconds now the gap between first and second. Was he still in heavy contention for this? And
That
then
will
this
change
Max.
definitely cost this Max.
This Max now 8.7 seconds adrift from the leader. Hasn't really been able to close that gap. Probably as quickly as he would have wanted.
He look, Max looked much more comfortable on a set of wet tires than he is looking on a set of dry tires at this stage.
I'm sure the track is okay for dry tyres, but it's not exactly perfect.
Now the
That's
question
going-
is,
Sorry.
now the question
Why
is,
Racer goes fastest?
Can Gavin close that gap to DW? I'm
No,
not
that-
quite
That's
sure
a
he will
massive
be.
gap.
That's 36 seconds in 12
You're talking about pretty much almost 2 seconds a lap.
It's a lap.
Yeah.
And it's the same tire age, so
That would
probably
have to
not.
involve DW making a pit stop and there being other issues too. So I think 5th and 3rd, well, it could have been better, but there was unfortunate ring damage into the pits there. Gavin has had a good recovery drive.
I can say one thing, Ati and Cowboys having a battle or gap means less than a second. Ati runs wide. Okay, no, lag.
Was he now just managing to close that gap to first place to just under 2
Under 2
seconds? Now
This
1.8 seconds.
Max actually now more than 7 seconds behind him.
So I think we'll see these two in battle soon. And it'll really come down to who's more comfortable on that
Wazzy goes
fastest
fastest.
lap for 1:35.0. Wazzy set in purples in the late stage of the Grand Prix. And that'll just give Y-Racer a little bit of a wake up. So when it's fastest lap, you see it on your screen. You'll get
You
that
realize-
purple time.
And you realize the guy behind you is
Nope.
coming.
you'll see fastest flat by, and he's like, wait, wait, oh no, just see that gap go back up above 2 seconds. It's 1.9 now.
Why is he making a mistake coming out of the double left-hander? Oh,
1.6 seconds, so you did lose a bit of time there, 3/10. 1.3 seconds. This gap could become, it could be coming into DRS range shortly. Then things could get interesting. Obviously we didn't have DRS for a large portion of the race.
Just going back to...
Oh, well, he's trying to save ERS.
Just coming back to what we said earlier about gap being DW, that gap is actually staying at 36 seconds.
No, that's a pretty big gap.
Nesmax now goes fastest.
And I don't know if you get yourself into 5th position and you see that sort of gap with 12 laps remaining, do you just hold it together and make sure you get to the end of the race, or
Correct.
would you realistically push for a 36 lead? I wouldn't push for a 36
sure you bring
second
it,
gap.
no, you know you're not going to make it. Just make sure you bring it home safe.
Exactly, bring it home safe. Keep your pace up. The guy does make a mistake and have to go into the pits, but I don't think you can push at that stage of the race, because if you make a mistake, you've really got no one to blame.
Why is it going wide again? And a bit wide again.
Oh, was he also running a bit inside the game?
That gap now between first and second. Does he get DRS? He does.
Yes, he does.
Opens it up. Now into turn 1. Hasn't really made up ground. He's picked up a 10th down the straight. Now it's half a second. Needs to maintain this sort of gap for that second DRS zone. Still in contention for this race victory, and look where he started.
What is the driver today, guys?
1:34.7. He has been quick, he's just had bad luck. Gavin with the fastest lap.
And some bad strategy calls.
Yes.
That put him that far back.
I'm not quite sure what happened with that wet tyre. I don't know if that was some misinformation from our good old friend. But maybe he just saw the conditions on track getting worse and thought he'd go for it, and didn't really go that way. Got pretty bad, and then it just fell off. Ooh, it's going to be close now. DRS, he pulls alongside. Y-Racer comes across the track to block him. Into turn 1. Nothing yet. Is he keeping his distance? He doesn't want to outbreak himself into that turn 1. He's done it twice, I believe.
Several times before.
So, obviously just being a little bit cautious there into turn 1, a little bit more cautious than you would usually go. Get it wrong into a corner a couple of times, you can start playing on your mind. Start braking a bit earlier than you normally would. Hasn't really challenged Y-Racer just yet.
If he can get a solid drive out of his corner, he can actually have a go at him.
Wide
Right
racer
racer
runs
go
wide.
back.
Got a bit of DRS available. Wonder if he'll activate it. He does. Puts it up into overtake. Activates DRS. Chases the McLaren down.
Too far behind.
Too far. He thought
Oh,
about
White
it.
Racer goes
stuck-
wide. Oh, and that's enough for Wazzy.
Goes wide, and that's enough.
But surely White Racer should have DRS here now. Oh, and he
Depending
goes
on where
wide.
that sensor is,
And that's a 3-second time
Finish.
penalty there for White Racer.
there we go. So Wazzy's technically leading this race by 3 seconds. Needs to keep it together these last couple of laps. Don't worry, Wazzy, the castle is not far. Just 7 laps, hold it together.
Nesma's actually began to take some time out of his two, but not much.
Am I mistaken that Wazzy was not even in Q3?
Nope.
Yeah, he
So,
started 15th.
It shows you can start far back. In these races, anything can happen, and it usually does. And
Remember, Wazzy also had to stop at the end of lap 1 for a new wing.
no, that's right. So he started towards the back of the field, and
he got spun
and he had
by...
to make an early pit stop. So to be in the lead of
And
the
that,
race with
and
7
that
laps
little
remaining.
incident with Vino.
I mean, Y Racer has led this race for most of the race. Now Wazzy has taken the lead. If he needs to now open that gap to over a second just so he can get Y Racer out of his DRS. Things get a bit easier when the car behind you doesn't have DRS.
And Nesma's now less than 5 seconds behind. He's now actually starting to move.
3.8 seconds.
So just 4.7 now. So
And RT has left
he
the
would have
session.
to he would have to make, he needs to catch and then he needs to pass. So he would need to make like a second a lap. at
Cameron
least.
now with a 3-second time penalty.
So obviously if you've got time penalties and there's someone close to you, it's going to be some changes on this leaderboard. Gavin's got that 3-second time penalty. I think he'll be happy with 5th considering the way the race went
Well,
and the
technically
mistake with the
speaking,
wets.
as it is now, technically speaking, just got DW between him and Nesmax. So he will actually be happy because a few minutes ago there was actually several drivers between them.
Well, if you take into consideration that he made that extra pit stop for wets that he wasn't supposed to do, and the pit stop takes relatively 25 seconds, so he could be right on DW's tail. So he has had bad luck there, and then the one call. But I wonder if it came from the pits.
Nesmax now less than 4 seconds behind a Y Racer.
I believe you should rely on your own strategy before you listen to that guy. Who was the other driver who tried the wet tyres? He also
Vino.
Yeah,
he also came in. Decided against that. But she had 3 drivers who retired during that wet session, and 4
Staffy.
during the a lot of action there with Wazzy passing some lap cars,
Hi, Boss Cameron.
getting out of the
And
way quite
Staffy.
drastically.
Here goes
running wide.
Nesmax. Nesmax now behind Cameron, past him. And the gap now to Y Racer is less than 3 seconds. Nesmax really on the go now.
2.1 seconds.
Really pushing that Ferrari.
Giving it everything now. He knows he needs to get as many points as possible. It's one thing to take the championship forward for one more week, but if you get there and the points difference is 22 or 20 points, it's gonna take a retirement, and you don't want that. So he needs to get as much as he can now. 1.7 seconds now the gap to Y Racer. Could soon find himself in DRS range. Obviously just 4 laps to go.
Might actually be at the end of his lap.
1.1 seconds behind. He's now within that DRS range.
He's going to have DRS at the end of his lap.
Let's have a look now.
Having a look here on the inside.
This one's
Really
getting close.
Much better exit speed as well. If he can if he can do this corner, if he can actually have a much better drive here, he can make it sick. And he does have a much better drive.
Going.
Oh, and he's got it way before even the DRS. Now, of course, he's going to have DRS.
And I think he's going to get DRS anyway because went over the sensor behind the McLaren.
Oh, Y Racer is still battling with him.
Not going to give it up.
He's going to have it. Nesmax has the inside line.
Oh. Y Racer actually. Y Racer slow down.
Oh, he's coming back.
That's now allowed Wazzy to get quite
get
far
away.
up the road.
Yes.
4.2 seconds. That gap's opened by about 2 seconds. So 4.4 seconds now the gap. And Nesmax is really going to have to find something. Just 3 laps remaining. 1.2, 1.3 seconds a lap. I don't know. I'm going to take an error somewhere.
But now there's 2 drivers between Gavin and Nesmax now again.
Correct.
Gavin was at one stage in 8th. Nesmax in 2nd. So this is obviously a much better result for Gavin.
Gavin was in one stage in the lead.
Things could have been a lot better, but could have also been a lot worse.
Things started falling apart for Gavin at that safety car, at the restart after that safety car.
Everything came wrong when they got to turn 1. Y Racer picking up a 3-second time penalty.
We're going to continue like this. That's going to promote. That's going to promote DW to 3rd.
I think that's his 2nd one.
I'll quickly check.
If DW can gain another 2nd out of him, and if he continues like this, that can promote DW to potentially 3rd.
He'll find himself on a surprising podium. So that's a 6-second time penalty. The gap is 7.3 seconds, 7.4. So effectively a 1.4 second gap. And what's even better than that is you don't really have to pass the guy. So just bring it below 6 seconds and you've technically passed him without even having to make a maneuver, which is where you usually lose a lot of time.
Nesmax on the move again, but there's not going to be enough time left to catch Wazzy.
So you can pass the driver in clean air. 6.6 seconds. Not far to go, and
Needs 4 more tenths.
he'll be in that technical third place. 2 laps to go. Max now fastest lap, a 1:34.7. Pushing right till the end. That gap 3.5 seconds, but just the 2 laps to go. That driver would have to do something silly, because I don't think Max can do something that special.
Not with like 1.5 laps left, no.
That Ferrari's powered by Shell, but that Merc's powered by SAB.
And SAB is more powerful at the moment.
Pretty much. We're gonna take over the naming sponsor from Petronas. That would be brilliant. Hey Rob, SAB AMG Mercedes.
I might be Captain Nice, but I can promise you Wazzy is Captain Castle.
No, that's odd. The gap now 3.4 seconds. It's looking like it's going to stay that way.
Ooh, 3-second time
Now
penalty.
3-second time penalty.
And guys,
Got a
interesting, the
7-second
final
gap to
lap.
iRacer, so he's safe, but
They're safe. Nesmax will remain second, but that will ultimately give Wazzy the win. That's going to give a win.
That's that.
And guys, the gap between DW and iRacer is 5.8 seconds.
DW is going to get third place.
5.7.
Because I didn't see any time penalties on his side.
No, he is,
5.5.
I don't think he even has a warning yet. $5.4 now, I think DW might have that.
So iRacer, who led this race for so long, might find himself in fourth. 5.6 seconds, you know, it's going to be really close. He could just run wide and find himself in fourth place instead of third.
But with his time penalties, he's already going to be in fourth.
I wonder if he's aware of it. Probably not.
And was he now coming through the
Guys.
second last corner?
Your driver of the day.
Was he?
I would say
Was he in
he
this match?
wasn't. I would say was he because he wasn't in Q3, and yeah, he didn't have the best
Wazzy
start,
go through
and
for a
look at
win.
that, and he wins the race. So I think it's quite clear. Well, Max
and
comes over
Nizmax
the
will-
line in second. Just see iRacer comes over the line in third for now, but I think when you see DW come over
coming.
the line, those two
No.
names will switch.
Oh, 0.03.
Oh, look at that. That's why I said, I wonder if he's actually aware of it.
So did the W
No.
actually get a penalty now?
No, if there was a he was 6.035 behind, so means he's just 0.035 behind. So he misses out by 300ths of a second on a podium. Gavin will now come over the line in 5th place.
And Ronald, crucially, is winning the Tier 2 championship. Coming around the final corner.
Yep.
But nicely done for the Force India driver. Goes over the line. It's wrapped up Tier 2. The inaugural Tier 2 of TnB.
No.
Just,
Okay, never mind.
just the one driver left on circuit. It's Weza. He's about to go over the line. And that'll be the end of our classified drivers. 10 finishers from 18 starters.
There you go,
There
podium.
you have it.
Hey, Captain Castle.
We have to see what this will do to the championship.
There you go, there's the confirmation.
Sheesh.
Yeah. So first place, that's Wazzy. Second place, Nismax. Third place, Y Racer. TnB DW coming up in fourth, just missing out. Gavin in fifth with a very interesting day. Ronald in sixth, Cameron seventh, Cowboy eighth, Staffy ninth, then Wezza making up the top 10, and that was your finishers.
Just waiting for the top 3 to quickly come in.
So Gavin
Oh,
must,
Staffy, got a puncture with
listen.
3 laps to go, pushing those tyres right over to the limit.
Sheesh. So apparently you couldn't take ultras of 14 laps.
It's asking too much of those
I
tyres in
thought,
the
you
end.
know, I thought maybe over 100% race distance. 14 laps wasn't such a great amount.
Here we go, we got
Well done,
our
boys.
first and second place guys here. Welcome Wazzy, welcome Nismax.
Hello. Hello.
And there we go, and we got third place Y Racer.
Just held on to third place.
Yo, what a close at the end, because Y Racer,
By what?
Yo.
400ths of a second.
No,
Something like
0.035.
There we go.
time
300ths of a
penalties, those
second.
time penalties, but yeah, there goes Wazzy.
Oh,
Guys, imagine that. Let's see if we can get him back in, yeah? Dirk, I mean, yo, no qualifying free, starting right at the back. Some incidents on your way, but yeah, fighting your way all the way back to finish second. And of course, more importantly, several positions ahead of the pig, which keeps this championship pretty much alive.
Yeah, some technical difficulties there at the beginning, but and I lost my front wing coming into the pits after the track dried up. So
I would say
Yeah,
that
had to
was
do
your
some-
turning point in the race.
yeah.
yeah, because I fought all the way to in front, and then unfortunately the guys went a little bit slow into the pit. So yeah,
Because you would have come out very close to Y Racer. So
yeah,
lost a bit of time there. But overall, you kept on coming back, and I was actually surprised you got as far as the race, because the amount of times you had to rejoin in qualifying, I would have left quite some time ago. So just that championship kept you coming back.
yes, definitely. I think it's going to be a good final race next week.
Can't wait.
No, definitely, it's great that we're taking it down to round 10.
Yeah, well done to Wazzy and Y Racing.
Thanks, Dirk.
Of course, Captain Castle, aka SAB's brand ambassador. What a win! I mean, you're at one stage right at the back, stopping at the end of lap 1, right at the back of the grid, fighting back, fighting back. There was a bit of contact with Vino when he came out of pit, sent you spinning, you lost a few places, but again, kept fighting, in the end you actually won this race. Why don't you just give us some perspective here from your point of view?
It is the most chaotic race I've ever been in. I couldn't participate in qualifying so I needed one lap in Q1. Eventually got back.
I doubt that was the most chaotic.
Well, I started with my good friend Ronald on the grid next to me, and yeah, off the start experienced a little bit of lag everywhere. I managed to lose my front wing again. It's like a specialist move these days. Anyway, I pitted lap 1, thought, let's go with a soft medium. I didn't even get the chance to look at the weather forecast, by the way. Anyway, started raining, had decent pace, stopped for inters, and I was just behind Nismax and Gavin. And what a battle that was. That went on for about 5 to 10 laps. Gavin pitted. I can only
full wets.
Full wets, yeah. That cost him, I think.
Dearly.
Managed to get past Nismax. He made a couple of mistakes here and there, and I managed to get past and create a little bit of a gap. Then I was just going at a solid pace, and I saw I'm catching Yuri, and I started upping the tempo a little bit. And yeah, another battle. And it was an awesome battle. Anyway, dried up, went into the pits for some drives, carried on fighting, and yeah, had a little bit of an incident with the Renault. I'm not even sure who that was. It happened so quickly.
Just as you came out of a pit.
Lost some positions. Yeah, lost some positions. Had an epic battle with TW, as always. Caught up to the front guys, and yeah, an awesome battle with Yuri. He made a couple of mistakes here and there. Got past, but he was obviously, I knew we're gonna run this one down to the last lap. So I was trying to save ERS and fuel and all that, and then we had a little bit of an incident with Cameron, which I think cost Yuri some positions there, which is unfortunate. But well done to the guys. It was one of the better races I participated in.
Cool, thanks for that. Yuri, you still with us?
Yeah, I am here.
Probably the most unlucky driver. I mean, leading the race for the majority of the time. Through that whole entire wet stint, you were in front. Working also all your way back. A solid start, pushing for that first position, and actually for the greater distance, you actually had first place. And just to lose it right at the end, that must be heartbroken.
Yeah, disappointed is an understatement.
I can imagine. I mean, fighting so hard, and yet here comes Waz out of nowhere, speed aplenty, and he just kept on pushing and pushing and pushing you.
The pace in the rain was alright, and when it wasn't sure whether the inters or the dries were the better tire, that's when I think I had the pace. But as soon as it dried up, I knew the guys like Nismax and well, Gaspik was out of it. Luckily for me then. Like Wazzy, the wet, Gav and Nismax would be faster. But that much faster after indeed the incident with Cameron. Yeah, lost my end plate and all the pace was gone.
A lot of actually some double movement there under.
You reckon?
With Cameron, I actually saw there was instances with Cameron where Cameron tend to make more than one move under braking.
Oh, you mean with? Oh, I thought you meant that I made more than one.
No. I was actually talking about you guys coming to get past Cameron.
What made this race so interesting for me was that for multiple drivers, they had different phases in their race. They had parts of the race where it looks like they were dominating, and there was parts where everything went wrong. In the beginning, Gavin was dominating. And at the restart after the safety car, everything went wrong. And he actually landed up getting fastest lap at the end. So he came back, but there was phases to everything. I mean, at one stage it was Dirk and Wazzy, and Y-Racer held position for quite a long time.
Yeah,
You must have had that red proximity arrow on your screen for like 5 or 6 laps in a row. Well, no, you did that.
Actually, only 2 or 3 laps. The rest he just couldn't get close enough.
And and he made a cheeky move in the pits as well to get past Dirk again.
Yeah, you noticed that? I completely fed up Nismax.
Nesmax getting hold of by those slow back markers coming in, and yeah, you said I'm having none of us. Whoop, off you went.
Had to be done.
Yeah, just for Wazzy, he didn't give up. He just kept on pushing. But gents, thank you so much. Thank you for the entertainment. Thank you for a good race.
Thank you.
And ladies and gentlemen, with that, this concludes proceedings here, and we look forward to seeing you guys next week for the final race, and of course championship
Round
decider.
10.
Till then, have a good night. Cheerio.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Just